thought I was good at change. 23 years of my life, and it's been filled with fair share of change. Not too much, not too little. Never anything too drastic, from changing my hair to moving across the country for university or moving to a different country afterwards. I always felt like I've done well with change, embraced it even. Scoffed at others who didn't seem to handle the change as well as I did. Homesickness? Who's she? Never met her. That's a sign of weakness that only others show, not me. Yeah, it's difficult, and sometimes I question everything. But for the most part, I get through it with only a few bruises and scrapes and mental breakdowns. I recently read a book on time, how we view it and our relationship with it. It was an alright book. I often found myself going through the pages just to get it done with, because the narrative style of the book wasn't really my favorite type of narrative style. It wasn't really drawing me in. But one thing from the book that I did really like was how it talked about the idea of seeing and interacting with other things in time. For example, I often have dreams of my childhood best friend. We go on great adventures together, crack jokes, don't acknowledge the chemistry that may or may not be there. We get into so much trouble, and it's great. It's a lot of fun, just like the old days. Maybe a little too much like the old days, given that in my dreams, he is always shorter than me. And in real life, well, now, he is taller than me. At least like 6 foot, I think. In my dreams, we have this undeniable chemistry. Yet every time we talk or see each other, it's stained with the awkwardness that I tend to bring to everywhere. My subconscious sees him stuck in time, not moving with me through time. This has become a major problem for me lately, as it affects my relationships with people. I realize that I am seeing many of my friends and families out of time. They are stuck in some idealized version of the past that I refuse to let go of. So when the reality hits that they have a partner, or they cut their hair, or are moving to a different state, I get mad. I refuse to believe it. I reject it. I don't respect it. I hate it. It's like when you go home and you realize the preschool you went to has been relocated, or they're doing construction on the airport you've known for your entire life. Or maybe you see the Zillow posting for the new house that your parents have put an offer on, 2 states away from where you grew up. Or even worse, seeing the Zillow posting for the house you lived in for basically 13 years, boxes lining the back room of every FaceTime call, your mother unpacking your new room in your new house, and you haven't even been there. Then your family getting a new puppy, and you will never know that puppy in its puppy stages. You now just will know the dog as dog, and maybe not even seem like family to that dog. It's your home, but it's not. It's not that idealized version you have of your home. It's a version that refuses to get stuck in the past and instead is moving forward in time just as you are. That bitch. It's difficult to view others moving through time with yourself, but it's nevertheless important, I guess. The journey forward gets lonely sometimes and difficult. So we reach for the known, for something safe to strap ourselves onto as we Spider-Man leap our way through the world. And it's scary that when those things you can always count on attaching your webs to fall apart. Here I am, 4 months later after writing this, and laughing about how cringy it all is. I feel like for the most part, I'm used to my parents not living in Albuquerque now. I did the other month ask my older sister how she enjoyed visiting my parents in Albuquerque, and she said, I didn't. And then I realized, used the wrong city, but I feel like I've adapted. They called me and showed me my new bookshelf, and I loved it. I read my script and think about how stupid and pathetic it is. Me complaining about time and change. I know how to handle change. It's easy. Maybe I've always thought of change as super scary, but then I just end up romanticizing it in the future with good old hindsight. It's like how someone smart said in their first video on their YouTube channel, the past is always more nuanced than we perceive it to be. And it's easy to look back and only see the wonderful moments, especially coming from the perspective of the present day. We romanticize the past so that we don't see how much pain or turmoil we're in. I'm kind of glad I waited to film this video until now, so I can look back and use this as proof that I do get stressed out by change all the time. I just refuse to recognize it in the future. Every change I've experienced, I've been scared about, or a little nervous about. I'm sure there's texts where I'm nervous about starting high school, or moving across the country to college. The first days of Peace Corps, I wrote down that I felt like an imposter here with a bunch of people who know more Spanish than me, who have traveled to countless countries, who have lived abroad and know how to navigate the language and cultural barriers. I mean, I still feel like that most of the days, but years from now, I'll probably only remember how welcome I felt in Costa Rica, how the cafecitos were the best part of my day, how I never felt lonely when surrounded by family and friends and other volunteers, and how easy it was to adapt to all the cultural differences. So, at the end of the day, I feel like I should have some good message to leave you with about how we distort the past, how time is scary and it keeps moving, and I fail to recognize that people move along with me in time. Or maybe it's just about how wrong I am. I don't know. This is just all food for thought for you, Junie, so let me know what you think. State. I get mad. They called me and showed me my new book. I read my note. I read my script. You bruises. So, for example, I often have dreams of my. I'm kind of glad. Okay, let's retry that. I read my script and think about chemistry. In my dream, I think about how stupid and pathetic it is. Me complaining about time and change. Or even worse. So we reach for the